And welcome to the Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast here. Tyler, a little jazz music going in, I guess, this week on the intro. So you enjoyed that this Saturday morning on TV. We got that. So welcome again to Fatboy FadeAway Sports. We weren't with you last week. We'll get into that reason why here in a little bit. But we're on episode 172. Tyler, how we doing, my friend?
Nothing. I love the elevator music. I felt like I was going to my floor, getting ready to hit the hotel room, go to bed.
Back in Disneyland, folks.
A new intro. I like it. I'm excited to be back. Last week was just a absolute mess.
So what happened in San? So I get this text and you're like, I'm having the worst night of my life. I don't know if I'll be back to do the show. I'm like, well, if you're getting here in the morning, you're probably not going to want to do the show. So you end up texting me like it's 6:15, or I see you tweet. I was like, well, you must be home. It's like 8. You're like, it's something about 8, and then you text me a few minutes later, and you're like, I just got home. It was the worst. It was the worst night ever. Reason we did not do the pod here last Sunday. What in the world happened after this Giants game on Saturday night?
SeatGeek, shout out to you sponsoring VSN. Good by you. StubHub is an absolute joke. You suck. I'll never use your app again. I suggest nobody else uses this app again. StubHub is a joke. All right, so we buy tickets to go to the Giants game Saturday night, and I guess it happened to like thousands of people because when we called, StubHub was like, "Oh, you're at the Giants game." So it happened that they would not release the tickets off StubHub to the people who bought the tickets through StubHub. So we have 3 seats, me, my wife, and my son. We're gonna go and we meet up with our brother and his girlfriend. And they're like, oh, we'll go. So they buy tickets to the Giants. They get their tickets. And then all of a sudden we go to get our tickets and they won't release them. And then it says, would you like the same value ticket somewhere else where we can get the tickets? So we go, yes. So we do that. And they won't release them either. So we're stuck. And once we hit, yes, we'll take the other ones. It says you can no longer get a refund because this is now a third party that is not us who is not releasing the ticket. So I'm livid. We can't get in the damn game. So we go and we
spent extra money.
Yeah, we're just spending money for a game that we thought we'd enjoy, and we don't. I mean, it was a terrible game. I'm glad I didn't have to watch it almost. I watched it on TV, but
so you ended up not making it. Was it fraud involved with the StubHub? Is that what happened here?
I don't know what happened. I ended up calling the next day, got my money back, bitched and complained. I was like, I want free tickets too. And they
did you not? So hold on. So you end up there. You meet your brother there, and you end up not going to the game. So like, or your brother-in-law, and you end up not going to the game. So what time are we now?
There's more. So they buy their tickets, and I go, Connor, my brother-in-law, why don't you take Bentley? We'll pay for Bentley's ticket. So at least he'll have a good time. He'll get in the third inning. He gets to watch the Giants game. They go. His phone dies, and the last thing he calls his girlfriend when it's about to die, and she interprets what he says is, I puked, I got kicked out of the Uber, I'm fucked. So now I'm like, you got to be effing kidding me. Sorry, excuse my language.
Yeah, please watch the language.
I'm sorry, I'll refrain. But that's what she said. Those were the words exactly. I won't do that again. So now we're like, we got to go look throughout the city and try and find them. Like, this is going to be a mess. So we go, we look. And then like at 1 a.m., they finally get back to their house because they live in the city.
Yeah.
And calls and goes, where are you guys? And I'm like, we're looking for you. And this was a big disaster. I was like, this is the worst night of my life. I think.
So why was that so bad? Because you guys were like looking for them and they were already at the house, then you had to go back.
They weren't at the house till 1. They had a 2-hour walk. So like we think he had too many bevs.
Yeah. So you guys, they weren't there. And so, and Connor or Bentley was with them?
Yes, Bentley was with him.
And you guys were nervous, obviously.
Yes, I was like, we're in the big city. This guy, from what we know, he ended up being fine.
Yeah.
And he just said, I'm effed because my phone's about to die and I can't get an Uber.
So then you finally get there. What do you guys leave, I'm assuming, at 5 in the morning or something?
Yeah, we just said, we're going to fall asleep. We're going to sleep on the ground. We'll leave in the morning.
So you ended up not going to the Giants game. You ended up thinking that you lost Bentley for a couple hours. And then so you had the stress of that. I think he was with homeless guys on the street over there, hanging out.
If you have been in the city late at night, it can be a scary place. You're an 11-year-old. He's like, wow, I saw things. I was like, I bet you did.
Oh, yeah, she did a lot of uphill walking, probably too. probably did a 2-hour walk from the stadium. That's a long ways away from. All right, so you had that incident go down this week as well. So that sounded like crazy that you didn't make it. That you make it for that. You denied a lot of people a podcast, Tyler. It's unbelievable. The audience we could have brought in that, but you have a good story now because of it. I thought maybe it was the raisin cookies at the games. That's what maybe gave you that. They gave you the issue there with it. All right, so you had that happen this week for you. I got our puppy yesterday, a dog for
congratulations.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a congratulations. I was joking with as I was leaving my brother and Angela, my sister's boy, they're like a little bit here, you'll be taking pictures and doing all that stuff, or will they set some sort of name for like a dad that loves dogs? Because my joke is always when I see the dogs like in those little sweatshirts or something like that, I'm always like, man, these dogs are getting soft nowadays. Like, that's kind of like I don't want to be that. I try not to be that dog. So I sent up a picture when we got home, and I was like, put it on a t-shirt. Put it on a t-shirt. So it's cool though. I mean, it's already like urinated 9 times in my house, but it is what it is there. And
it's a learning curve.
That part hasn't changed much, but it's pretty chill right now. So the name.
How do you let you sleep last night?
It actually was pretty good. I like out. It was actually no problem at all. It got up at 5:30 though. That was all right for the podcast. Got me up on time. It was a good alarm clock. So, Paul Goldschmidt is Goldie is the name. That is the name. Goldie Hodds. Does that make sense? Goldie Hodds, right? We got to do both right there.
Is it a lady or a boy?
It is a lady. It is a lady.
It's a lady.
Not a lady in the evening. We're not doing that. It's Goldie Hodds out there. Goldie Hodds. So we're doing that. So Goldie is the name. I'll wait for 7th inning stretch. I think everybody will enjoy that name from our St. Louis fans out there. Yeah. Like that. So I had that going on. We had OJ died. The only reason OJ Simpson, that is, for anybody else that for some reason doesn't know that name, but a lot of people, some of the funny memes that you saw on the internet with that one was good. But like I said, obviously, scum of the earth. But that little incident, that little history of him and the Bronco there, will be something that this is what were we, 9 out of 10? I was at that time, so you were like 7. It was kind of hard. And then the trial was I felt like 10 years long. You know what I mean? And then there's so just one of those crazy. I don't even know if we'll ever have something like that again in our. You know what I mean? Like that was just like a weird.
I don't know. Aaron Hernandez was like the
1,000 type of deal. It was like you couldn't even write a script that good.
No, it set up TV for until now. Like it started reality television. People are like, oh, we can get real characters and kind of real situations, so that gets tons of viewers. Why don't we try and get this going? And then sets up like Surreal Life and all this weird, crazy shows. But yeah, do you remember where you were when the not guilty announcement was made?
The Bronco thing? Oh, I don't know where I was.
No, when they found him not guilty.
Yeah, I was in 6th grade, Mr. Men's class. Mr. John Nett was in Mr. John Nett out there. Shout out Sam Miguel. That's where he was. I was in that class. I think that's where we were.
I think I was in that same classroom because it was like right after school before a basketball practice.
So that's where I was with watching it. It was. I remember my grandmother was just, or my nana was just glued to it the whole just because of it was such a race thing too at that point, right? Yeah. It was just like a massive
with the Rodney King and
everything. We got one, all that gets all that slogans out. But I don't know. That was just I felt when he died, it was like one of those things that brought back that little weird part of your childhood memory that you kind of remember taking up a lot of months, people talking about it and family discussions, all that stuff. We had that. We have Aaron here tuned in. Appreciate Aaron tuning out there in New York. Aaron Van, she did retire the Stanford head coach. Shocking there. Looks like we'll see. Stanford, good luck replacing that. Good luck with that one. So her teams were always interesting. It just was always Tennessee and UConn were it always felt like just one recruit a little more, right? Like Stanford had heck of players. They won the championship, I know, a few times. It was just felt like UConn and Tennessee were just always a little, or somebody else would just, Notre Dame even came in there for a little bit. Yeah. And they were just a little bit more there.
They just, Tara Vanderveer has the most wins, I think, in college history as a head coach of any program. overall in D1 history. So, like, he's obviously a great coach.
Yeah.
As far as Stanford goes, I don't know, college basketball is tough around here. Even women's, men's, doesn't matter. Nobody really pays attention to it.
Probably Stanford women was the most, I would say, definitely the most popular though in the last, like, in terms of like winning games. They definitely are the most winning team out of all of them there. So I don't know.
It's not even close.
It's not even close. Like, you know what I mean? The other programs, it's like once in a while, at least you knew Stanford was going to be a top 4 seed every time they were in the tournament. So that's pretty. You don't usually get that from our area college teams in terms, unless it's I've heard we're pretty good at the racquetball. No,
Cal baseball sometimes get some big recruit or good players.
What would happen with your little league game this week? You said you had like some crazy
goodness. We're just going through down negative out. All right, so we're up 5-0 in the first inning. We're looking good.
And you said I have to ask you about it. So
I know. I'm just setting it up. So we're down 5-0 in the first inning. They come back. It's 5-4 at the end of the fifth. We're winning. We're not. They bring in this pitcher. We're not touching him. We're up 5-4. We go end of the fifth. Top of the sixth, they come up. They score 7 runs. Then we come up. First 2 guys are out. Then the umpire calls hard out. The time has reached its maximum. We can't finish the game. We're going back to the bottom of the end of the fifth for the final score. Brewers, us. You win. Other team, you lose. And I just sit there like, this is disgusting. I feel sick to my stomach. I don't want this win. We had no chance. We had 2 outs in the last inning, and you're going to call this hard out. Like, I was like, this isn't right. Something is wrong in this picture.
So
I don't know what.
So what happened again in that final play?
So we're up 5-4 at the end of the fifth. They score 7 runs in the top of the sixth.
Yeah.
There's a hard out at 7:30.
Yeah.
So it's 7:28 when they score their 7 runs. We come up, our first 2 guys get out. It hits 7:30. The umpire calls game over, time limit. We got to go, since we didn't finish the inning, we have to go back to the last finished inning where we were up 5-4.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine the ruckus from the other coaches. And
were they upset about it?
Yeah, they weren't happy, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't be happy. I was not happy as the winning coach. Like, I was like,
I think as the umpire there, you at least give the last guy to get one more out, right? I mean, at least
that's what I was thinking.
At least that batter, and then maybe call it. Maybe I would even go 2 batters.
You just let the game end. Just finish it. If you start an inning, you finish an inning. That's my.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like,
so have you ever heard that game up now? I've never heard anything like that. So you have to remake
we're not making it up. We got a W. They gave us the W. We're 3-0. I was like, I don't want it. I was like, maybe we should go to the other team's.
Tell your kids you're 2-1. Tell your kids.
No, but they know. They have the game. They have the app that says what our record is. Like, we won. I was like,
I know. You always refer to them as 2-1 when you see them. Remember, you guys are 2-1 on the year right now. So
I tell Bentley every day that when he brings it up, I'm like, you lost. You lost.
You're 2-1 every time with them.
You weren't a winner. You played bad. You didn't deserve to win. I wanted to go to the other team's next practice and go, look, but the other coaches were against it. But I wanted to go to the other team's practice and go, look, we'll take care of it with the league. You guys beat us. We're going to kick your butts next week.
We were going to come back. I know our best hitters were coming up. Our best hitters were coming up.
We were at the bottom of the lineup, too. It was like, oh, God.
Good old some basketball, baseball there at that. I feel like you're overreacting this week a little bit on Twitter to the Giants a little bit. I feel like you need to take a deep breath. You're in Daren A's territory where game 3 we lose with Jermaine. You got to take a deep breath here. You got to I think you guys are fine. You had a good performance last night. You scoring runs. Tyler, it's baseball. Remember what you said to Douglas. It's a long season. You got to let it play out here. You're give yourself a heart attack. I'm just being your friend right now. Chill out.
I appreciate it. But when you replace J.D. Davis with a hitter who has a worse OPS career, and then you put Soler, Soler's going to do it. So he's going to hit 30-plus bombs, which is a plus. But you just hope they're meaningful bombs, and he hasn't hit one of those yet. So I don't know. I don't like this lineup. It stinks. The starting pitching will be fine. It's going to be good. So we'll be in games most of the year. It's just whether I still feel like our hitting is garbage, even with the signings of Soler and Chapman, and Jung-Hoo Lee has fallen off a cliff these last few weeks.
Not the best leadoff hitter now in Giants history.
Probably not. Since Brett Butler.
Back to Brett. Right on that. We're back to Butler's still in there with it. So all right. So yeah, a lot of people. I'm seeing the passion come out with you this week in that regard.
You believe in like this lineup? You can't.
I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just like you need to they'll probably make some changes at some point. You're not as long as you win. Like I mean, you guys played really bad against the Nationals these first 2 games.
Like we're still running out Yastrzemski. You can't hit a beach
that
ball with a tennis racket.
Well, the best thing is you didn't get to see him that night, I guess. So like you said, that was the best part of that evening for you in San Francisco.
Giving up a grand slam in the first and then absolutely nothing the rest of it.
My A's going to Sacramento officially. I was like, last week it would have been a little different conversation about it, but this week, like, still kind of the same feeling. But I'm still like, I don't. Some people are like, yeah, that'll be fun when you go to Sacramento. You can see the A's, and like, I guess it's like at the end of the day, it's still the A's, but. It's just still weird to me because of the owner. Like it's like he still feels a little odd, like to support him in some regard. So that's the tricky part. Now I can see if you weren't a fan like me, it's not really. It doesn't really mean it. Like you don't know all this background and stuff. So it is what it is. We'll see how the Sacramento thing plays out, and like how I'm curious if the sell movement makes its way there at all because it's not like terribly far away from Oakland. You know what I mean? So it's like. We'll see how that kind of goes with it. We'll see what restrictions Sacramento puts in place to avoid some of that. But they're playing at a minor league stadium, which is the Giants' minor league stadium. So it's funny that the Giants now played a part in this in a way with the A's to work together, along with the Kings owner, Vivek, who is his comments are kind of like it is what it is. Friends with John Fisher kind of worried me at the beginning. But the fact that the Kings situation – I don't know. And then they did do this to, I don't know. But Oakland.
They had Kevin Johnson. That was the biggest difference.
Yeah.
It wasn't the owner. They had a mayor who wanted and fought for him. It is what it is. But I think Vivek, it's a brilliant move because that's where they are now. And if this Las Vegas thing, or not now, but next year, it sucks that Sacramento stabbed you in the back and took away all your leverage or any leverage. But like at least they'll only be
business
2 hours away. And I think this Vegas thing is going to fall through. I have no faith in it coming through with Major League Baseball and Manfred at the helm trying to get this thing, and John Fisher. Like I just don't see it happening. So I think they're going to end up in Sacramento. We'll see if they can get them a stadium. I don't know how that'll work because they can't play in a minor league stadium for 30 years. We'll see. But I do think it's a good move by Vivek to try and get a professional baseball team.
The plumbing is unnecessary. It's terrible. We got more plumbing issues there. We can't take it anymore. I've never actually been to the River Cat Stadium or whatever they're called now. Have you actually been there before? Never seen a game? I guess my sister.
It was the A's stadium.
They went just
minor
2
league
days
affiliate
ago.
For years.
My sister said they just went 2 days ago to the game.
I think it's supposed to be really nice.
Yeah, they got the little lawn area there. It fits like 12,000 or something like that, 10,000, something like that. I know they're trying to expand, whatever that means, moving forward. And in some ways, like, well, why are you putting your money into that stadium to help the Giants going forward? I don't know. It's a weird, like baseball and the way they do things. It just is odd.
Maybe they can build a Mount John Fisher.
I don't know. Like moving to Sacramento, it's kind of an odd deal. I wonder how. It's funny hearing some of the Sacramento Kings fans that are A's fans, kind of like how my stance is a little bit, like a little odd about it. Like it's kind of unique hearing some of those guys. Like even the people in the media that are A's fans, like they're kind of that are Kings reporters but grew up A's fans, are like it just feels icky is the way they use it as well. So we'll kind of see what kind of fan base they get in Sacramento.
I mean, I think they'll be A's. I mean, it's an A's city for the most part, so I think it'll work itself out. I would think it's more of an A's than Giants area.
I don't know. I know. But they're not even going to this point. They're not even going to be referred to as the Sacramento A's. It's going to be like the Commanders. We're not the Washington. Yeah, we're just team football. It's just going to be the Athletics. It's not going to be the Sacramento Athletics.
It's not the Oakland Athletics. It's not anything.
Not the Las Vegas Athletics. It's just the Athletics next year. So
they get the Ohio State treatment. The Ohio State,
and it's not the Athletic writing company. It's the Athletics. So that's what it is with it. That'd be funny. So I mean, that's what I mean. It's just kind of turned into this big joke with it the whole time with it. So I don't know. You got any questions for me on the A's move? I'm going to be going here in a few weeks.
What do you think of like the player movement? They bring Ruiz down to the buy. Like it's just a slap.
The wristbands, $2. Did you see they're bringing back the $2 tickets, $1 hot dogs on Wednesday?
Yeah, I did see that. What a brilliant move by Mr. Fisher.
What a brilliant move.
I do like
really,
your guys' announcer. Do you have any thoughts on your announcer? He seems like to be the best announcer since Bill King, in my opinion, from what I've heard.
Casey.
Little stints.
It was funny that you say that because me and Casey were talking about the women's basketball tournament, which we'll get into in a second. That he's like, oh, you're starting to like the women's game a little bit more. I was like, well, don't ask me about the announcer for the eighth. So
You know,
he thought I was trying to make a turn towards the better. Well, Jenny, she's all right, but I prefer Mr. Carey's grandson that did a better job.
That's what I'm talking about.
He did a great job, but usually it's Jenny. He's number 2. Oh, Jenny, fourth.
No, I like Carey.
I thought it was funny. I actually had the game on in the background. Was it Friday? Yeah, it would have been Friday. And I was just like, I kind of turned it on. I was like, oh, that's not her. And I was like, kind of lit. I was like, I know I don't mean it. It was better. I was just, you're listening to it. The conversation was better. The way his voice just sounds better in the way he's calling things. His walk off was a good call, I thought, for his first one there with that. She'll probably get better. She's fine at what she is, but I feel like he's probably number 1 talent more there, or natural gifted ability. I mean, he has the family kind of history too of all that, where I would think he would have that kind of in his DNA as well. But whatever, I'm part of the woman hater club, I guess. I don't know what it is. I just think as pure talent, I just think he's better. That's all.
That's what I was referencing when I was bringing up that. I didn't even know you guys had a woman announcer. I've never heard her.
You know her? That has always been on Twitter, like for the whole entire last Tuesday hired. I retweeted. Jenny, yes, Jenny is the play-by-play announcer for these.
I like Carey and his walk-off call. It's there's like emotion, and it's like it was actually really good. I was surprised that it's better than even the guy before him who made the crazy comment about the Negro League.
Mr. Kuiper, Bay Area legend, brother of your team. Did you watch much of the women's Final Four?
I watched every Iowa game. I didn't watch anything outside of that. But that's 2 of the 3 games.
Now, I don't know if you saw my short on what I did with talking about the NCAA tournament and how I thought the women's tournament was a little bit better than the men's this year for the first time in my lifetime. For me, because maybe there were other people enjoyed other ones, but this was the first one where I was this one had my attention a little bit more than the men's. And I kind of attribute that to the stars. And I kind of even said, I think the coaches are a little bit more personality and star in the women's game right now.
I'd agree wholeheartedly. I also think the fact that there was maybe 1 lottery pick in the men's side of it, and there's 8 or 5 in the women's in the Final Four. You have better play, and the style of play was better in the women's. It was more up and down. Style of play is what's going to draw people to watch the game, and talent, obviously. But you have to have a certain amount of talent to play that style. And Caitlin Clark and that Tessa Johnson girl and that big Brazilian lady I was like, who the heck is this lady? No, for South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, who's this girl? She's huge. She looked like some UFC fighter. But it was drawn. The stars is what I think is the biggest thing. And then you have Dawn Staley, Kim Mulkey. I don't know who the Iowa coach's name is off the top of my head. She was kind of.
I don't know if she's a star. Then you have other guys. I just feel like the whole tournament. You're starting to get a little bit more names. I feel like that consistency in the women's game is a little different right now. So I don't know. I thought Reese that she had all that drama kind of happen again after the game. I thought there was some interesting stuff that was said about it. I just think sometimes I feel like for the women's tournament, the media attention is a little bit more let's attack these personalities a little bit, but I don't know.
But why is it the same people over and over? They instigated also, the way they act.
Some of Angel Reese's comments after were a little different and stuff like that. They're just a little bad.
No, it's nothing bad.
Just a little it was going to give a follow up type of question. So
and people are going to respond to it.
Yeah, exactly. So what was the UConn one with the screen? Yeah, everybody's very complimentary of UConn's response with that one. So very well done, UConn. I thought the men's tournament, UConn back-to-back champs since 2007. My biggest takeaway from that whole thing is, they did play a pretty unreal defense. That was the one thing. The fact that they have the guards is just there's no team that can score against them. So right now they just dominate the game right now. Now, finally, they'll be a lot different with Klingon up there. That will change everything.
You have a big that can move.
he could guard him a little bit. Maybe not the first 10
Edie
minutes.
went for 35 and like 14.
But he
I don't
did
know if
make.
he
I
guarded
felt
him
like
well.
the possessions were not. I felt like he really had to battle for a lot of them when he was going against them. I didn't see.
They just shut down everyone else. Purdue outside of Edie was not good. You said, the guards just shut down everybody except for, I think Edie was fine, and I think Klingon did a good job as well. But when you aren't doubling, you expect Edie to get his, and that's just what Dan Hurley did. It was a good game plan. Take everyone else out of the game. People talk about doing that all the time, like, oh, just let him, like Jokic, oh, just let him score, shut down everybody else. It just doesn't work. It's easier said than done, and they actually accomplished what they wanted to do, and they ran away with it.
Dan Hurley looks like he's gonna have a heart attack. He needs to take a deep breath on the sideline. Can they
intense mother?
If the center was there again, I would say yes. The center. If he came back again, but imagine if he came back again, man, that would be a tough thing. Because I mean, he's just so good on defense, like the way as a big man, the way he'll slide. And then Edie, one thing about him, real quick, before I don't think UConn will repeat. Just real quick, I do not.
No.
If they do. All right, Dan, you're in Dan Hurley. You are in a very elite company, sir. If that happens, John Wooden territory. I mean, that's where we go if they win again. You know what I mean? Like 3-peat in college, that does not happen. So we will see.
And no program has been able to sustain. Like UConn's so up and down, but it has 3 championship coaches in the last 20 years.
They win the big game. It's weird. Like when they get there, they win. It's like they don't lose the big game when they. Every time I was thinking that maybe I'm wrong. I just can't think of losing a national championship when they've got there since 1999. I feel like they've won every time they've gone. So that's pretty crazy to think. Maybe they've lost in the Final Four. I'm pretty sure that, but I feel like when they've made the championship game since 1999, they broke that with Rip and your boy Khalid El-Amin. They finally got it done. So UConn, interesting one there. See if they can three-peat next year with it. It was in Phoenix, kind of a weird spot, I thought, for the Final Four as well.
Kind of a loser spot. Nothing there.
So a few things there with that. We talked about that. I had an interesting.
Do you think Klingon will be a good pro?
Well, we talked about it a little bit on Double Double a couple weeks ago. I think he'll be pretty good on defense. I don't see the offense. I still need to. I like some of his game on offense, but I don't know. I don't see it as if I took him in the top 5 or top 10, I'd be kind of a little worried with what I was going to get. But I could see him maybe being like a Steven Adams, which would be a good player.
He has some beat to him, I feel like. He's not he seems kind of like he stumbles around. He's very quick and has a good, he gets where places fast, but he doesn't seem the most coordinated. It seems like he's kind of bumbling. I don't buy it as a pro.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I see the Adams part of it for him, maybe without some of the aggressiveness, but he does pretty. I mean, I thought the way he guarded Edie impressed me a little bit, like the way he was able to physically kind of go up against him a little. I know, like you said, he scored some, but I mean, he's a big boy. He's a big boy.
He's a huge boy.
And I think after that first spurt, he kind of learned a little bit, and so I think that was part I kind of like. Okay, he made some adjustments, even though he got crushed the first 6 minutes by Edie. I thought he did get better after that. He made him work a lot harder for his stuff. That's what I thought made him a little bit more
it wore him down. Edie was definitely getting tired towards the end of the game.
He's not a good defensive rebounder, Edie. I feel like that's something for a big guy, anything that's not necessarily an arm's length, you could get you have guards. So I think that was a big part for them too. And that one. All right. I didn't tell you.
Couldn't shoot the 3 was the biggest part. I think they hit 2 threes. You're not going to beat UConn with 2 threes. No.
What was the thing you had this week you want to do? Was the question you want to do the raise?
Sports elevators, we were talking about Caitlin Clark and how she elevated. I know there were the people before her, but women's basketball is as big as it's ever been, and it's because of Caitlin Clark. If that hurts your feelings, go cry somewhere else. But that's why. So I just thought, who else has elevated their sport? My number one guy, and we saw UFC 300 last night, is Conor McGregor. I feel like he did the same. When he came around, the UFC, he became the first super, super duper star, like Caitlin Clark has. And can you think of any other guys or
one that raised it the most in that sport? You think probably, huh?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. He's not the beginning of it, but when he took it from mainstream to this, it's a top 3 sport or 4. It might be bigger than baseball now.
What was the guy's name at the very beginning? Not the. What was the guy? He was
guy who just Chuck Liddell.
Chuck Liddell. Okay, that was the one. All right, so you have him. I With Stone The Rock, is that what you put The Rock? Remember The Rock? Did he lift wrestling to another level? The Rock, shout out WrestleMania. Did Stone Cold after watching the biography this week? Seeing him in long blonde hair, that was interesting. My son tries to send me all the time, little Xavier. It's funny because he'll try to, like, once in a while he'll get him, and I'll try to get him down with it. It's kind of like a running joke we have. I'll say something to him like, "Hey, what's that kid's name on your team?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, it doesn't." And then like he'll say that to me. And once in a while he'll get me, and I'll be like, "God," he'll be like, "Dad, what's that?" Let's say I'll be like, "Yeah, it doesn't matter."
Wrestling's the best.
Yeah, it's kind of this like running joke we have right now with it. If you had wrestling, would those guys do it? Stone Cold or The Rock? Is that raising?
That's who I would. Yeah, I would think it's those two guys. Maybe. Yeah, for sure, it's those two guys. I mean, maybe Hulk Hogan before that.
Triple the Attitude Era. I've looked back at some of those videos. It's insane. Some of them, like
the stuff they got away with.
PG-13. Vince McMahon, the Vince McMahon Stone Cold era. I kind of forgot about that one when I was watching that, but that was kind of good. I forgot about their battles. I mean, I knew about it, but I kind of forgot how they were like all that good stuff. Like, yeah,
he's bringing the beer truck out.
He's bringing out the milk truck. What's the one where he's in the doctor's office or like that? He attacks him in the office.
Hits him with his pan.
Yeah, exactly. He does that. All right, so that was lifting the sport up. All right, how about for baseball? That's a tricky one a little bit because Barry Bonds did he lift the sport up?
No, I don't think so.
McGuire, Sosa.
I would say McGuire and Sosa our lifetime are probably.
And then they brought it down, and then
they lifted it, and then they kept it there. Then once Bud Selig did,
who's lifted the sport up since then?
Since then?
Since him, has anybody lifted the sport up? Basically,
I don't think so. I don't think there's been someone who has.
I was thinking about that.
It's been must-watch TV that people like tune in and are like, that's what we need to see.
Maybe
Shohei has that opportunity.
I still feel like, the baseball doesn't quite have that guy yet, and it's crazy.
I don't think football has one.
Football doesn't have one.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just been elevated. Really? It's been at the same trajectory the whole time. It's just been gradually.
I say Brady elevated
going to the moon. Who?
I think Brady and Manning, kind of that era, elevated it. Those two. That's who I had. I feel like they
is that offensive rules that elevated it?
It might have, but I feel like they took quarterback play to a different level. They made other quarterbacks have to play the game a lot differently. Like they understood, they can't sub if we call hike in 8 seconds. You know, there was these little rules. They understood the game so much different. And then I felt like then you had your offshoots like Drew Brees from them, but I wouldn't say they elevated the game. I would say those two elevated it. Brady,
that's fair,
to a different level. If I had to say it, those would be my guys.
But I don't know. I think it was going that way. They were the guys who were there at the time. But I think it's rule changes and whoever the commissioner was, I guess Goodell, but in the negative, to make it such an offensive game. And now they're kind of fighting back to get it a little more defensive, even though they put in this new stupid rule about the tackles. But
yeah, the other ones in my lifetime I would say is Deion Sanders and Ray Lewis in football. Those were the other two I could think of that elevated like their defensive skill sets. I thought elevated the position a lot better. Like you got the attention a little bit, the way they looked at it, the speed, the element. The way I just thought that, and then you got your Willises that came after those guys, and you had the style with Deion, you had the dancing with Ray Lewis. I thought those are the two other guys, not necessarily culturally. Maybe that's what you're thinking more, but I think Deion. I think
positions, and Deion was definitely a big superstar. So I could see Deion. Ray Lewis, I don't know. Would the game be different if they didn't play? I don't think so.
I think with prime time it might be.
Maybe I'll give you Deion more than Ray for sure.
How about Federer, Nadal? Do they count? Or not enough?
Yeah,
they don't have enough juice.
I would.
Or is it Joker?
Yeah, I'd just put them there. I think Serena and Venus did more than they did as far
I would say they lifted it for sure. They definitely took
as far as tennis goes.
Yeah, no doubt. They'd probably be even more.
I think the main one is Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
In golf, definitely raised golf into a new stratosphere of fan, getting new fans and whatnot.
Our generation, that was key.
Oh yeah, without Tiger Woods, it'd be no one wants to watch Ernie Els and Vijay Singh back in the day. Let's be real. People were tuning in to watch Tiger just come in and
Hale Irwin.
Jim Furyk. Let's watch Jim. Jim hitting a 280 off the tee.
Freddie Couples, 220 out. Did you hear that AAA thing with the announcer was announcing a bat, and that bat threw like a Masters type call, and he's like, it was kind of funny. It'd be like, Barry Bonds up to the bat. Oh, a beautiful throw outside. Like, we have a wonder. The wind is in the air. Like, the way they were doing it was pretty funny. That's hilarious. All right, you got anybody else with it? Yeah, those sports.
I think Allen Iverson, basketball, Bird, and Magic, and then Jordan took it to another height. And Curry might have been the next. I don't give it to LeBron. LeBron's better basketball player.
Tiger Woods versus
Curry changed culture and how the game's played more than anybody else.
Tiger Woods is definitely number one. I don't think there's that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's. Casey's.
I was looking.
Gotta give Casey suggestions. Caitlyn Jenner.
What do you say?
Caitlyn Jenner was Casey's. That he texted me. Caitlyn Jenner was Casey's. So you got that. You don't know who that is.
She did a lot for women's driving by running that person over.
Allen Iverson is not on that list for you. Shaq.
They could be, but
Kobe stop it. Kobe on there.
Kobe.
I don't know.
It was like Jordan.
I feel like Kobe, the one thing with him, people forget there's a lot of people that were not fans of him. You know what I mean? There was a big fan base of that. All right, other one.
Did you see that meme with all the players on it? It was like Curry, Wade, Kobe.
Yeah. And
who's the worst of them? It was like, who would you leave off? And people were
Wayne Wade.
I saw some people go Magic. Doug, I think, was like Magic. I was like, are you high? Who didn't win an MVP on this list? There's one guy who didn't win an MVP, and there's a reason. Dwayne Wade is the guy who does not belong on this.
He's a great player.
It's not close.
He's not better than those guys, that's for sure. All right, anybody else you have for it? We did football, we did that. I don't even Messi. Does Ronaldo count? Does it make you watch soccer?
I was thinking more America, but yeah, they elevated in
What's
America.
The guy that played for? Is he still play for Chelsea? The American guy, the best player that we have.
No, I think he plays somewhere else now. I don't know where.
He doesn't play for the Earthquakes yet.
Captain America.
Play for the Earthquakes. Come out.
Mia Hamm.
Come play for John Fisher. Well, Mia Hamm would be a good one. We had our third graders.
What was bigger, Mia Hamm's goals or Brandi Chastain ripping her shirt off?
I would say Mia Hamm. No, Brandi Chastain definitely more. For our school we have third grade career day, and one of them was Mia Hamm. So there you go.
Wow. All right, that's elevated.
They're elevated.
It's like the music coming into the show. We're talking about.
Trying to think if there's any other. Somebody was Tim Tebow. Is he an elevator?
Tebow. College football.
The elevated college football. So I was trying to think of some other athletes that they were there. Was there somebody? Tony Hawk? Maybe not. There's somebody. Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk probably.
Yeah, that guy's made so much money off skateboard video games.
That skateboard video game probably elevated it, which has his name on it. So,
John Madden. All right, so those are a few. I had I didn't tell you at the beginning. Last week we had a sprinkler at our school actually come off in one of the rooms, and so imagine one of the sprinkler heads coming off and water just.
Did you have to go in?
Well, thankfully we had a lot of people there, so I didn't have to come in. But there was already a lot of people already there, so they said I didn't have to come in. But I dealt with other stuff involved, from the house, calling the alarm company, janitor stuff. But man, talk about a lot of water coming out of it. Do you know how to turn off? Do you know how to turn that off? The fire, if fire sprinklers ever went off and it was an accident, I learned how to do that. So that was.
I don't know. I had to figure there's a lever you have to turn, but I don't know where it is.
You have to go outside. You have to close the thing. You have to go back out. You have to go back into the storage room. You have to open up the.
What happened to set them off?
Because there's a water flow that goes to the sprinklers from the street and from our parking lot, and so you have to close it out that way. So we had a big mess at our school this week with that. In our preschool, we had to deal with. So I forgot to bring that up this week. But it was crazy with it. Hey, WrestleMania.
Do you know what set it off?
No, I think it just came off. I think my theory is one of the ceiling tiles hit it, and it kind of it was enough to get it to snap. Yeah. All right. Did you watch the WrestleMania thing at all, or do you guys do that? I have never watched the rest. This is the first like real WrestleMania I've ever kind of watched.
I watched the second night. I did not watch the first night.
So the first night I probably watched a little bit more of the first one, but it was kind of fun to see Xavier and do it and stuff like that. So I enjoyed that. He does like it. I don't quite get it, some of it, but it's it is what it is, and so it's fun that he enjoys it. And now I'm starting to get into the storylines. It's always good when you bring back the old the guys that too a little bit, so that makes it a little bit more. And then he was pumped up when Mr. Cena came out, of course, too. So all right, what do you got for winners and losers this week?
My winner, you want to do winners or losers first?
Whatever you got.
All right, my losers is Shohei Ohtani in baseball. Just swiping it under the rug. This will all go away. It makes no sense. The richest, a guy making $150,000 can bet $40 million, and his boss doesn't have someone else working the books, making sure he's not getting. I don't know. It seems like this day and age, you have an accountant who works for you if you're making millions and millions of dollars, but the interpreter has access to his accounts. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. So that's a big loser for me. Another loser, Angel Hernandez in strike zone. Just god awful. How this guy still has a job.
How does he have a job?
It's unbelievable. He's a big loser. He's terrible.
I got to get him on video. The one I remember him the most, Angel Hernandez. Do you remember the home run call he made against the A's? It was like
in left field against Cleveland, I think it was.
I don't think that's the most I've seen Bob Melvin lose his mind. Was that night? Because they went to replay. They still got it wrong.
It was insane.
That's a good loser.
And then my last loser is O.J. Simpson, and
I think that speaks.
Normally, it's gone too early, maybe gone too late.
I would say I'd probably sue on that one. How about can I throw in Allen Iverson's statue? A little tiny. Is that a little too small for that one, or was that appropriate? They were trying to make the. I know everybody. It made me think of the Kelsey Plum. The
little toy,
the little tea kettle, like that. That was funny.
The best part about the Allen Iverson trophy is it's in front of the practice facility. The irony of that is just hilarious.
That's why they put a littler one. He was little. It wasn't there. Well, if he was there more, would have got bigger. What do you think about Brady coming out again saying, "I might make a late season comeback if a team needs me"? Loser of the week for that comment. I just retire, old man. Just stay retired.
Is he the owner of the A's?
They're
not the A's. The Raiders.
He's coming back at first base. It's unbelievable. And Oakland's really getting desperate for fans. Tom Brady.
They need views.
What's up with the Satchel Paige? Coming back, let's throw him. It's like coming back and throwing. He's coming in on a horse too. They're trying to make it a whole event. So those were my losers of the week. Winner of the week. I don't know. Does Arkansas count as winner of the week if you get Calipari? Or is he done? Is he washed?
I don't know. I think that's a winner. I mean, it's better than what they had.
Yeah. All right, you get that.
It makes it interesting, at least.
Go Hogs. Go. Casey, my brother, his birthday this week on Thursday. Celebrating that. Shout out my brother Casey here with it. So
happy birthday, Casey.
Tuning in. Happy birthday. They're the big 3-7 there with it. So happy birthday, Case. Hopefully get you back on the show here one of these times soon. You got headsets. That's good. He at least has a headset he can use. So that will help if he ever gets back on. Doesn't sound like he's underwater, hopefully. So happy birthday, Case. Winner of the week there.
Absolutely. You want me to? I got Max Holloway knocking out Justin Gaethje. Just calling him to the center of the ring. That's what the bad mother is all about. That's how you win the belt. It was a great knockout. And then Pereira getting kicked in the where and calling the ref away and then just knocking out Hill winner. Dan Hurley we already talked about. And then Fall Guys, this Ipe back to Shohei. Has he passed Greg Anderson as the best Fall Guy in sports history?
I thought that was a fun conversation when we had it the other day. I feel like that was a good one. I think that's a real question. Is that a real Fall Guy? I think it is a real Fall Guy. I think he's maybe one of the best of all time. It definitely goes on the list if he's the real hitman with it. The beauty. I just want to play one round at Masters. Just one. Just one. Let me play one there. I'll hit it into the sand trap. I'll get good use out of it. But I just want to. I at one time, just one time. I mean, it's on the list. So we'll see if somehow I can meet somebody rich from Georgia and get on there somewhere. Line. That's my only hope, right? Get somebody there with it. So, Tyler, good show this week. Episode 172. You got any last thoughts there? Winner of the week? Any final ones?
Yeah, one more winner is hip hop diss tracks. That makes
what's going on with that?
I don't know. Everyone's coming at Drake. I always hated Drake, but it makes me respect him that all these guys are coming after him. So, and I got my Papa Doc B Rabbit 8 Mile shirt hat on to commemorate the beef.
The beef. We love it. Rat beef. Is there anything that's more American now than that?
American is apple pie.
Wouldn't it be great if you had like country singers that do that kind of stuff? But like, you know what I mean? Imagine like somebody should make that as a skit or something like that. Like you have like the writing songs like, oh, Garth Brooks just went at Toby Keith. Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, he did sell that tractor for me. He screwed me over. And like you're like gotta
his dog is ugly.
Yeah, his dog is ugly. That's great. Should I get the dog real quick? Should I have a sec? Or should I?
Yeah, go get Goldie.
Give it. You have to entertain. All right.
There. Oh man, what a show! This is fun. Daren, hurry up. Any questions in the comments? No questions. Oh man, they're giants. They are pathetic.
All right, there you go.
What's happening with Brandon Ayuk? Don't trade him. Just hold on.
Brandon Ayuk do you think that's all fake? Him getting traded?
I don't know what's going on with Brandon Ayuk.
There we go. We'll get him on.
He's getting leverage.
We'll get him on the screen.
Where is she?
There she is.
Oh.
There she is. There she is, right there. Does that get us?
Look at the dog. If that doesn't get us views, I don't know what will.
Oh yeah, where does it go? To the Raiders. Team up with Adams. We get him. There we go.
If he goes somewhere, he'll go to the Steelers, and he'll be very disappointed in the action he gets there.
Hey, do you have a VSN update on TMB? Are we still are we retired still, or where are we going with that? Is there maybe a show coming in the near draft future with Ayuk, or what do you got?
I don't know. I'm waiting for something to happen. This whole just guessing what's going on isn't my cup of tea. I'd rather react to something than just try and predict a bunch of baloney that I know nothing about and have no inside info on.
You know about Ayuk. You got some baloney there at that. All right. Well, we go with it. Aaron, I've been watching the 5-hole. You guys have been doing the hockey playoffs starting there with it. Appreciate you in the chat here this morning, my friend. Getting on with this.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. It's always good getting your thoughts on everything. I always appreciate your thoughts also on our other shows we do as well. Sharks season over. Good night. That is with
thank
it.
You. Hopefully we get the top pick with that.
Warriors are going to get the 10 seed. Tyler, maybe we'll do an emergency pod if they play the Lakers. We didn't get into that much, but I feel like we talk about the Warriors all the time. But they'll be good to have. Do you think do they beat the Lakers?
No. No, I don't think they beat the Lakers. They need to go get this playing crap out of here. Make them earn it. I don't want to. The Warriors don't deserve to make the playoffs. They choked too many games away. They would have played Kuminga against the sitting out resting guy, or not playing guys who might be a little dinged up because you have a 10 seed. I don't know. It's a bunch of baloney to me.
Join the next left turn with Josh Edwards. Yep, he's doing that show over there with it. No, I'm with you. I'm not here. Yeah. Variety Sports Network this week. I got the 7th inning stretch coming up Thursday. I thought it was a fun show with Dave. It's always a good show with DA. He really knows his adult stuff. So it was fun doing a basketball show with him. If you haven't checked that out with Doug, as I like to say out there, Mr. Douglas, out there, check that out. That was a good show. So it was fun having him on doing that show too. So looking forward to that.
If you like movies, speaking of Doug, movies by Doug, we did The Joker. Daren just stole The Departed from me. He wouldn't let me do The Departed.
I told him we should go back to that one because I was like, I'll do Shawshank then if that's the case. Or so we talked about it. So.
That's what I like to hear. All right, yeah. Well, we're doing Mad Max next time we do one. I don't know when it'll be. Probably a couple weeks. But
we'll have to do one. Yeah, no, right, Aaron. You got the 5-hole playoffs coming there as well. So a lot of stuff coming here on Variety Sports Network. Be sure to check that out as well. Fatboy FadeAway Sports here with you. We're always going to be teamed up there with Variety Sports Network as me and Tyler do some shows there and co-host some shows there along the way. So be sure to check us out there as well during the week. Josh, good luck tonight with Daren on the NASCAR show. That's why I'm like, another left turn. I love the name. Tyler, you got Little League practice right now? Is that what you guys got Sunday?
Yeah, I got to be there in a half hour. We'll see how this goes.
Raining. You didn't get rained out today, so enjoy that one. Say hi to the family. I will we'll press on the WIFE question next week. We'll ask that one about that one. So we're gonna have some fun with our better halves next week with that. So look forward to that. That's our teaser for next week. All right. For Tyler McGurk, I'm Daren Breyer. Thank you for joining for Fatboy FadeAway Sports. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Peace.